Hello everyone, the December review here, back again with the next installment of And Just Like That. Spoilers are ahead, so make sure to check out the show only on HBO and the Max streaming app. Well, another week has gone by, and with it brings the third episode of Season 2. I wanted to mention that this new season corresponds with the 25th anniversary of SATC, so it's fitting we get all new episodes along with some pretty interesting callbacks already, with a few more waiting down the line. All of which helps celebrate the quarter-century mark of the franchise. For the third episode, I wanted to focus in on two of the more main storylines, as here we have Carrie beginning work on her audio recording for her most recent book. Its mere idea is enough for Carrie to contend with, but by the time that she has to read Chapter 3, of which covers her finding big last season, well, the emotions over reliving that situation proves to be too much to take. So she fakes illness in hopes of the publisher recasting the part, but it only delays the inevitable, and Carrie must face down her recent past. I mentioned in the last video for the first two episodes that there felt to be a marked tone shift in the season. Sure, Season 1 kicked off with a pretty somber event, but with more impactful scenarios out of the way. So far, here it seems that we are watching a straight drama series, intercut with some lighthearted lines and subjects, and is proving to be a very effective shift as the show feels much more balanced in terms of what we've come to expect from the SATC universe, and I say that as a fan of the first season. Prime example is the overwhelming grief that engulfs Carrie as she tries to read her book. Her unsure feelings eventually give way to full-blown panic attack in the studio until her flight or fight eventually wins out as she tries to avoid the situation altogether. I'm not sure who played the main producer in the studio, but his small role was excellent, knowing the moment and knowing the right way to help steer Carrie through the obvious distress of the book read. It's a standout moment. The ensuing conversations had with Seema and others over the ordeal are measured and sympathetic. Gone is last season's almost self-centered emotions, of which were justified at the time, but now Carrie can take some solace as this next phase of life brings with it a less acute emotional bubble, and more confidence in handling the waves, even if she did try to avoid them. With the third SATC movie never finding its way, Season 1, in some respects, and a bit in hindsight, took some of those ideas and tried to strike the right footing between the past and present. That approach worked for me, but we've hit a different level so far in Season 2. One which very much feels like AJLT and not needing to SATC things just because you can. Carrie gets some excellent moments in the third episode, mostly by accepting her world and trying to fight through an emotional storm. As a viewer, it was compelling television. The other major storyline finds Che and Miranda on day one of filming Che's TV show. There's already a bit of anxiety between the two, as Che is focused on the show and Miranda is trying to fit in and be helpful in any corner she can. There's a few setup scenes to the filming. First, Miranda helps Che run some new lines, and then she gets some bad news from Brady as the show is about to begin. All of this is surrounded by the trouble she is having with her new cell phone. Miranda lies about having her phone on her as she enters the studio because she is expecting a callback from Brady, who is in hysterics. Well, the payoff is a pretty intense few minutes. As Miranda and a full audience watch the show's taping, you know that phone is going to go off. It's just a matter of when. And it does, and it's heartbreaking, and it's again compelling television. The couple have it out a bit before Miranda flies back to New York. Things aren't exactly left on a positive note between them, but for both characters the response is real and has merit. Che is upset and Miranda is freaked out. Both are understandable. There's also a bit for Miranda getting a tattoo to help signify where she is in life. Its setup is intriguing as she daydreams over the idea of a decent-sized piece of art, but the end result is nuanced, almost blink and you will miss it, but is fitting and perfect for Miranda Hobbs. It's another kudos to the writers. Michael Patrick King is once again behind the camera and has hit another home run in terms of style and mood for the new season. Carrie's panic attack scene is worth mentioning here as the walls literally move in and the words from Carrie's book begin to blur. Water runs while piano notes soundtrack the moment. Time stopped. For the rest of the cast, well, they get a few things to do, but for this video I wanted to focus on the two main storylines. Seema gets some of her best scenes here so far in the series, helping Carrie while also getting her purse stolen. It's the yin and yang of the city, a theme spoken throughout the episode. There's also the return of Lisette, Carrie's neighbor, who has a pop-up event for her jewelry line. When her items are also stolen, Carrie and Lisette share a moment together, painting the thought of starting over again. It's another rather effective scene and another stepping stone in this already layered season. With all that said, I am of course enjoying Season 2 so far. It's clear the show has smoothed out some of the rougher edges and is exploring the other side of settling into its new chapters. I'm sure there will be some wacky scenarios ahead, but for 3 episodes in, the more relaxed nature of the series and a few of the Easter eggs have been a pretty great watch so far.